welcome. Hey, today I'm going to do a little review on Mod Podge Crackle medium. I have never used this product before, and I had a couple small projects I needed to do crackle on, and I was having trouble finding crackle mediums locally, and finally I found the Modge Podge Crackle, and I had never used it before. So I bought some and looked online, watched a couple YouTube videos, and I didn't have a lot of hope for this because it sounds, it looks like people were having a lot of trouble getting a crackle. And the weird thing is that on the directions for the Modge Podge Crackle is you do a base coat, okay, on your piece, or like I work on walls, so I have a lot of, background in doing lots of finishes. I do crackle on walls using plaster and paint on furniture, and so I've been using crackle, different products through the years for a long time. Anyway, normally what you do is you put on a crackle medium, and then after a certain amount of time, I believe with plaster, you apply the plaster over the top when the crackle medium is still wet. And then with the furniture ones and the smaller ones using paint, you wait like an hour or a certain amount of time to put it on. Well, anyway, I decided when I saw the reviews showing that this product asks you to do a base coat, okay, and then to apply in a couple of heavy swipes the Modge Podge by itself, and then that crackles, and that's it. And according to what I was seeing, it wasn't very, very successful. Very difficult to control, which crackle is difficult to control, okay, but just wasn't a really, not what I was after. But I thought, well, I'm just going to play around with it, okay? So I took my piece, and you see what I did here. I put on a coat of the Modge Podge Crackle, and then I thought, I'm just going to put some paint right over the top of it and see what happens. Maybe it'll all crackle together, which is what I was looking for. Anyway, okay, so this light background would come through in the cracks. So I thought, well, let's just make this into an experiment. And at this point, I decided to make another heart project. So I have another heart with the little name tag Margot, who is a friend of mine, off to the side. And actually, I'm going to do a second video showing another product that I'll use on that second one. Okay, so here at this point, I don't know what's going to happen. I thought, well, let's just leave it. So it says to leave it for an hour, okay? So I do that, right? And let's see what happens after an hour. Okay, so here we are. An hour later, you see me giving a thumbs down. Not much happened at all. Okay, so now what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to do what the original instructions said, and that's just to put the product directly over paint. Okay, so now I have a painted background. Again, this is a darker color. I had a light pink on there. Well, anyway, so I'm putting the Modge Podge over the top of a base coat. And so we're going to do what the instructions say, and we're going to apply this, and then we're going to let it dry and let just the crackle itself crack and see, let's see how that turns out. So I put it on as heavy as I could, I thought. It's very irregular, but at this point, this is absolutely just an experiment. So I let it dry for an hour, went back and checked on it, and it's not really doing much of anything. There's no cracks happening at all. So, and some of it isn't even dry. At this point, I'm frustrated. I'm just like, I am just going to crank a whole bunch of this stuff on there just see what happens. And there is kind of a surprise ending here. So yeah, you have to keep watching. Pretty interesting. So at this point, I'm like, this is just, it's, I just feel like the whole thing is shot. And let's just put some on. I'm really disappointed in the product. And I have nothing to lose at this point. So you see what I'm doing here. I'm pretty frustrated, trust me. So let's see what happens. Okay, it's the next morning. I check on the heart, and it crackled. Wow, I was very surprised. And I'm wondering, could I get a cool effect with this? This is not the way I usually do it. And I think, okay, I'm gonna rub some antiquing on it, which I'm actually just using some Van Dyke Brown acrylic paint, which is the kind of a color and product that I like to use. Made by Golden, but you can use anything. You could use a darker red, whatever, to kind of highlight those cracks, right? That's the whole point. So I'm rubbing it on, thinking, oh, this is pretty awful. I'm just going to keep going at it. The product is not, I haven't used enough of the product. My bottle is almost empty, so you see me shaking it here, just getting the last dregs out. I'm going to squirt it right on. You know you're in desperation mode when you start squirting stuff right onto the piece. So, yeah, I'm still at the point where if this is just crap, it's okay. I want to see what happens here. So covering the whole piece with a paintbrush, this very, very saturated Van Dyke Brown, just to see what happens. And, sometimes when you do things like this, you just kind of break the rules, give yourself some room to just, really go at it, just as an experiment. Sometimes there's very surprising results, as there were with this project. Okay, so I'm making sure that I get it in where all of her, the letters for her name are in there, because I want that to kind of show up for sure. I want to be able to read the name. I want all the cracks covered. And now I'll wipe it back the same way you would with like a wipe on stain, right? Okay, and it's pretty sticky. It's this product is pretty hefty stuff, but it is water based. So if you were to do this, you probably want to wear gloves. But it does wash off. It's not a solvent based stain. It's all water based. But it's kind of doing a cool thing here. So I keep wiping. Still a little bit heavier than I like, but boy, those cracks look pretty cool, right? Yes, they've kind of pooled a bit, but they are on the sides where I thought the whole product would slide off the edges there. So I'm spraying a little bit of water on my rag, thinking it's still too dark. It's too antiqued for me. So let's see if I can pull some more of my antiquing product off to see if I can get it to where I like it. And, as the seconds tick by, I'm liking it more and more. I don't know. I'm pleasantly surprised. And I think this product has redeemed itself. So, yeah, I went through all of this pain, so you don't have to. But, I think the trick definitely is you have to put a lot of it on. You have to expect that it's going to be very irregular, okay? But this was my result, and I actually am going to keep the piece. I like it. I'm going to finish it, put a clear coat on the top, and it is going to be a gift for my friend Margot. So, boy, I did not expect this ending.